You know. Yeah, shout out to Highland Park.
Where you say you're from?
HP.
You said what? Where you from? I'm from Grand Rapids.
Oh, that's why you like everything.
I've been here.
That's why you like everything.
Yeah, literally, man. Like it's I mean, there's definitely shit like, you know, my spidey sense is tingling. I don't go certain places, but like,
You say it's differences though? I ain't saying bad or negative. I'm just saying, do you feel it's different from the West and East?
like certain nuances, but culturally, it's basically the same place to me. To me.
I mean, culturally, yeah. I mean, we talking about like, it's all, everybody's Detroiters, like, you know what I mean? It's all relative, but.
Ukraine or Russia, you know what I'm saying? It's like all the same shit, bro.
What? Alright, okay. Just making a quick laugh. I was going through my old books, and I found one of my old favorite books. How many of y'all read on a weekly basis or monthly? How much y'all read on a regular? How many of y'all actually read? Not the newspaper, not YouTube, or like an actual book. Everybody?
James Patterson type situation.
Good shit. Yeah. Right on. You keep your soul, brother. Keep working. Well, this is a New York Times bestseller. It's called Wisdom from the World According to Mr. Rogers. One of my favorite motherfuckers ever is Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers. No, he not who?
I know Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers. You see, I grew up with Mr. Rogers. My dad watched Mr. Rogers. Yeah, he was cold. He was a good motherfucker, man. Straight up. You like Mr. Rogers, man? You smile. I see Mr. Rogers, you try to smile, and so that's how I know he hit your heart too.
I'm looking like because I ain't.
Well, now you know. You always have the battle. G.I. Joe. This one says, I'm picking them randomly. Love and trust in the space between what's said and what's heard in our life can make all the difference in this world. There's something unique about being a member of a family that really needs you in order to function well. One of the deepest longings a person can have is to feel needed and essential. That's right. And we need you motherfuckers here today. Y'all are essential. We're glad y'all here. You know what I'm saying? We need y'all energy. We need y'all participation. We need y'all love. We need y'all art. You know what I'm saying? We need all that stuff. Welcome. How you doing? What's up? We're reading out of The World According to Mr. Rogers. Yeah. I'll give y'all one more. Y'all see how excited you were when I read that. So I'm gonna read you one more. There is no normal life that is free of pain. It's the very wrestling with our problems that can be the impetus for our growth. It came to me ever so slowly that the best way to know the truth was to begin trusting what my inner truth was and trying to share it. Not right away, but only after I have worked hard at trying to understand it for myself. Let's go, Mr. Rogers. Come on now. Hey, rest in peace. Rest in peace. All right, so now we'll call up your other host. He's a man, a myth, a legend. He doesn't go anywhere without that orange hat. And he rides bikes on Wednesdays, a long ways. He has a wonderful dog named DJ. He's from Grand Rapids, but he has made himself right at home here in Detroit. And he lives in Midtown. His address is 11652. Y'all give it up for us, Easy Jasper. Y'all make some noise.
Puts Frisco on his arms too.
That's what's up, man. Make sure you don't have anything around your mouth when you're talking shit. Welcome. You did it. I just, you did earlier what you got. Oh man, welcome to Art in the Fly Space, man. Give it up for the good brother Liz now, man. Let's hear it. I don't know. I love every week around this time. I'm always enriched. It's always dope. It's always a little bit hot, but it cools down by the end of the show. Really glad to see some new faces, some new familiar faces, some new unfamiliar faces, and of course, some of the folks that have been making the show what it is. Couple things, man. Like, okay, what I was saying about like Detroit. Of course, it's different. of course, it's all different. There's diversity in the city that's like everywhere. Like every house you go to has a different, set of tenants. Every neighborhood is a little bit different. There's a culture that makes up every place. But if you don't grow up in the tribalism of, okay, I'm on the east side now, so I'm the east side, or this is the west side, or whatever, this is bougie, this isn't bougie, whatever the case may be, if you don't grow up in that tribalism and you come as an adult, it just doesn't matter to you as much. Like, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it doesn't matter. I like it when I hear my brothers and sisters go back and forth about, the east side versus the west side. I think it's funny. But to me, it's just all Detroit. And I love the city, man. Like, this is an amazing place. It's my adopted home. I've been able to do incredible things here, meet incredible people, learn incredible lessons. And it's dope. Like, when you are an adolescent, the people and the places that you find yourself around and in are there because you were there, you were placed there. Your parents, your mom dropped you off at daycare. You ended up at this school or whatever for whatever reason. And your friends are friends based on proximity. Okay, me and Johnny ride the bus every day at 3, you know what I'm saying? And we always get on there late, so we always end up in the same seat, and he likes baseball and I like baseball, so we talk about that, right? As an adult though, your friends are more intentional, and the places that you end up are more intentional, right? It's not where you're placed, it's not where you just find yourself after school, it's where you chose to go after work, or what you chose to do when you woke up, right? And where you chose to move after you, outgrew the place that you were from. And Detroit is that place, for me. So it's the good, the bad, the ugly, it's all dope. And I like the challenge of Detroit. I like the blackness of Detroit. I like the rawness of Detroit. And everything that makes Detroit a headache is also what makes Detroit cool. Like, you really can't have, you can't have one without the other, what I want for the city and what I want for the people, of course, is just less suffering, more opportunities, less poverty, less just systemic neglect and all of that, like across the board. But it has to be inclusive of the people that have made Detroit what it is for the past 100, 200, 300 years, So, I love this place, man. And I gotta, even though my hat is on, I gotta take my hat off to this city. Ended that conversation earlier that doesn't matter to me at all, but I had to explain why it doesn't. So, yeah. Really quickly, what made you all smile this week? And I want to just go around the room. What made you smile? Yeah, let's start off. What made you smile this week?
I got to come home and visit where I'm from. I just got out of town 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ear to ear. It's good to be home.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Welcome home, man. Give it up for that. That's really good. Homecoming. My brother, what made you smile?
I think it's just, my grandma being, 89 years old. She's so big. She still funny, so
That's
being able to see that, it's just like, okay.
It gets no better than that.
Yeah, she remember everything. I'm like, Grandma, you remember over 50 phone numbers, and I got this cell phone, I can't remember.
Man, right?
Hold on. So things like that just make me smile, and I just simple things.
That's such a blessing, man.
Yeah.
Give it up for Granny, man. Give it up for all the grandmas, especially those that are still with us, man. That's beautiful, man. Soak all of that up. Soak all those conversations, those laughs, those frustrations. Soak all of that up, my brother. My brother, what made you smile this week?
I'm gonna be the first person in the room because I haven't had anything amazing happen this week.
Okay.
But I'm still here, so
Definitely.
I can't do anything with that, and that's my smile, I guess.
100%, brother. Give it up for presence, man. Being present, being alive, being well. And man, living and fighting another day, man. I appreciate that, brother. And that's definitely worth smiling, man. It doesn't have to, be something just magnanimous that happens, man. Sometimes just being able to be present, man. We know how big of a deal that can be, man. man. So that's nothing to shy about, man. So thank you for your contribution. I appreciate you, brother. My sister, what made you smile this week? It's only Tuesday.
My best friend told me she was here.
Yes.
We've known each other since kindergarten. It's a blessing.
Oh man, that's so dope. That's so dope.
Constant contact. It's a blessing. And that made me smile. And just like him, I had COVID a couple weeks ago, and I was really, really sick. And I'm still here. A lot of people didn't make it.
Man, ain't that right? Ain't that the truth? Yes. Give it up for that, man. Surviving these crazy times that we find ourselves in. I'm really glad to hear that you're better. Glad that you are reunited with your close childhood friend. That's always dope. To be able to be in the sandbox with somebody, and then your lives take you on two completely different paths to adulthood. And the people that you thought in the sandbox, the metaphorical sandbox, that would just always be there, you end up losing touch, and you end up, just life takes you different places. So to be able to reconnect and to be able to meet up and share water, we're not having any, it doesn't look like we have any drink. Cool.
Oh, we drinking.
Oh, y'all, okay. There we go. Let's go then. That's what I'm talking about. Beautiful, man. Well, welcome, and I appreciate you both being here, of course, for sure. My brother Elijah.
What's up?
What made you smile this week, sir? It's only Tuesday, but what made you smile this week?
It's been, you can see online, I have a rough week. I dodged many disasters. You just gonna walk in front of me while I'm talking? I'm kidding. I'm
You really have had a rough week.
just playing. I've had a challenging week. I should be glad that I avoided some disasters. They didn't turn out to be absolute destruction. They tend to be manageable things.
Right.
But if I had to pick a thing or two that made me happy, today is my early birthday. You know
What's
what?
up?
Man, Prince.
Oh, that's right.
That's a
The
brother.
orangutan seems to be losing his grip. Almost everybody he's endorsed in those southern elections are losing, and he's starting to where he has to endorse people that said he's native, which I think is almost over. And third, and probably the most petty, but the thing that's made me happiest, you know, I've been going through a drought for an extensive period of time. It's not funny. I'm just really hurt. There's no sympathy here.
That laugh was from the soul, too.
While the drought continues, there have been a great many women that have made overtures to me. Some of them straight up hey, I'll bend over right here. It was nice.
Yeah.
Not that I wanted them necessarily, but it was just nice to feel attractive to them. It's been a minute. Goddamn. Yes, it has. Okay, we like to feel attractive, but I've had a couple different women just basically.
I see why.
Bitch, y'all. I got feelings. I'm a human being.
This brother got emotional to risk. I feel you. That's real though, because as the laws of traditional Western courtship state, men are the ones who approach and do this, that, and the third as far as women are concerned. So oftentimes men can be left feeling in that purgatory of, well, am I good enough? Am I attractive? Am I? Because it's not necessarily in the woman's traditional playbook to build a man up prior to them being together. So for a single man, I can understand how sometimes it's like, well, shit, if it's been a while, you start questioning certain things, man. So it's only natural, man. It's human nature, man. So I'm glad that you received the validation from
Couple of
the fair gender.
Couple of them were sure.
Couple of them?
Yep.
That's what's up, man.
Couple of them were.
Hey, but it's all relative, man.
But it's nice to get the appreciation around.
Indeed.
So he should meet my neighbor, right?
One person's dirt is another soil. Okay. My brother. Other than that weird ass analogy I just made, what made you smile this week?
I'm not going broke as much.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. No, that's real.
Bless.
I like how you worded that, man. As long as you stay moving as a young man, as a young able-bodied man, as long as you stay moving, you stay on your toes, and you don't sleep in too late, and you get up and get out there, you're gonna make money. You're gonna make value with
I don't know. I
what you
just
do.
keep Josh for like no fucking reason. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you go from shit all the time.
Definitely. And keep focusing until you figure out what you want to do. You're a brother of many talents, so sometimes it's hard to narrow that sort of thing down, and you can find yourself a jack of all trades, master of none. When you find yourself doing something that you enjoy and you wouldn't mind doing for free for the rest of your life, do that and then just figure out how to make money with it.
You know, that's only like one portion of that phrase, jack of trades, master of none, whatever. So that's like 1/3 of the whole phrase.
Really is.
Yeah, it's actually like an actually dope ass phrase that people shorten down and insult people.
Enlighten us.
I don't know what it is.
Wait, what you say?
I don't recently, but
Oh, it's that jack of all trades is master of none, but better than a master of one.
Yes, sir.
yeah, something like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
He goes down.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, it is for sure.
Yes, that is it.
For sure. Bruce Lee said, "Fear not the man that practiced 10,000 kicks once. Fear the man that has practiced one kick 10,000 times."
I like that.
Do with that what you man. You said he died at 33.
I'm saying, where we got a gun.
That's ridiculous. Family, what made you smile this week, my brother?
A million things, but the illest shit.
Okay.
I just came from Georgia like 2 days ago, right? On the way back, as soon as I get on the freeway, Georgia State, bam, right on. I'm flying though, so I knew. Like as soon as I went by him, I just went right in front of him because I knew I was going right behind him. So look, I had crazy weed, you know, I was smoking.
100?
Yeah, I was doing 96 feet.
You are the first.
They make me throw the Reynolds only go 97. I don't know how.
Just
But look, long story short, he smells me. He's like, oh my God. More troopers come. They check the whole car. I guess they be pulling over people with big amounts of weed. So they in my gas tank going crazy. I had a couple sacks of weed, 2 blunts. They made me throw it on the ground and step all over it and all this, right? So I don't know if y'all know if anybody spoke in here. Crazy trying to think about going all the way home with no weed at all.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? And I gotta go all the way to Detroit. But
I'm in Ohio, you be
anyway,
straight.
the officer, they was nasty.
Oh, yeah, 'cause that's what
So I
happened
ain't
with
telling
me
the
at the
story.
Greyhound.
Troopers, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, he gives me, I had a crusher with me too, right? He gives me a crusher pack. Take your paraphernalia. I don't want you littering on our streets. What it is they rules is still old school. No weed legal, not one bit is old yet. So he was on our head. But anyway, he gives me the little weed shaker back. I'm pissed thinking about all this weed I just stepped on.
Horrible.
I get in the car, I forgot that I had like 2 L's in the weed shaker back.
And you won.
That's what made me smile.
Can I share the irony of this? For those of you who don't know this man, he is called Slow. Now, I've known quite a few weed smokers in my time. And they always, in my experience, go slow as fuck. They go, I mean, they're not speeding. The weed smokers, they're doing like 30 miles an hour and 60. They go, this is the only person that I've ever heard of that was doing 90. So and he's called Slow.
That's hilarious.
No, it's a long story. It's shit happened in Georgia. Moving all the way down there to this girl, and this shit went haywire, you know?
You can, weed, brother, as somebody that doesn't partake in any mind-altering substances, you don't take any character-altering, mood-altering substances. Weed for people that actually like smoke weed doesn't have an effect eventually. It's just like it's just like a calming sensation. It doesn't really affect how you drive. It doesn't affect your motor skills, going fast or slower. It's just like
It's like placebo drugs.
yeah.
I don't know
But
this one.
yeah.
I don't know. I done seen a lot of weed smokers who smoke a lot that be high as shit. I done seen them high as fuck. I'm like,
There's 20 miles an hour.
G Smooth though, G Smooth, he one of those guys. He been smoking since 1961. So, but other than that, I don't know.
61.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Have you ever seen me?
Yes.
Oh, you have.
I actually high as shit.
Nah. if that's
Okay. Remember we was at that show I did. Damn, what that place called? And he went that little room with the red carpet on the floor. And he was in there smoking with the DJ and the other girl. He was high as shit. He was like, no, I'm high as a motherfucker. See, that's how high he was. You know?
I guarantee you, I drove home with the exact same cadence that I would if I didn't smoke anything.
I'm sure. I'm not saying that you swerve. I mean, we used to make you swerve and do.
Nah. When you anyway. My good sir, what made you smile this week?
The story.
There we go. Touche. Kara, what made you smile this week?
I got to meet my friend's baby, fresh baby.
Oh,
fresh baby.
That's dope. Nothing like a fresh baby. That's what's up. I think a fresh baby, I think one that's like moisturized, it smells like it's really, I know they do.
Wearing some tin.
Got some J's on, so I'm saying.
You don't want to kiss a fresh baby that fresh out. You don't want to kiss it. You don't want to kiss a baby that just came out. You don't want to do that. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Is that placenta?
I know a family that ate it.
I do too.
Seen that shit in like real house.
I do too.
All types of nourishment, placenta.
A whole shitload of nutrition.
Yeah, I didn't see it on Real Housewives, but it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, it's all types of.
They cook it. Like, they was biting like
Spiritual aspect.
Put it on the grill.
Yeah.
You both like that on the baby.
This is comedy right here.
We got ribs, chicken, and placenta on the grill. God damn.
Yeah, me personally, I would eat some raspberries.
Raspberry.
I don't know what happened. I'm just don't shoot the message. My good sir, what made you smile this week?
Last Friday, my two best friends in the world got married to each other. And so that's like a great thing for them. But what was really great personally for me is like they have something that's so ideal, and like I've envied their relationship a lot because they don't mean anything in the world. They can just be in a house together and they're in heaven, right? For years and years and years. And so at their wedding, I was like watching myself and my thoughts, and I didn't feel any fucking jealousy. I've never had a relationship last more than 3 months, like and I just felt happy for them all day. I was just in a supporting role. It was actually really great to spend the day not thinking about myself at all, just trying to be the best friend I could, and so that was great.
That's fire, man. Give it up for that, man. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's humility.
Not to do anything.
I got a question. Is anybody in here social media friends with that guy right there? Besides me, anybody social media friends with him? If you send you an invite, don't accept it. Every happy thing you put up, he's gonna be like, hey. Motherfucker.
He was sprinkling a little bit of this.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like oregano. These 3 fingers. My brother, what made you smile this week, man? Sure.
Couple things. My friend just had an event at her garden, and she did a beautiful job. There were vendors out there, martial artists, people having a great time, and the food growing, of course, well. And I'm just really proud of what she's doing. And I also got a chance to, I know I'm in the corner, but y'all can see the shoes I'm wearing. It's from a company called Nagash. So it's a black-owned company in Livonia. And they have their storefront, and you can also check them out online. You can order them on Amazon. You don't have to go to the actual store, but yeah, seeing my people do what they do and being able to support each other while we're doing it, that definitely made me smile.
Nagash.
Yes, sir.
Like L-A-G-O-S-H, like Nagash.
N-E-G-A-S-H. Yes,
Nagash.
Ethiopian term. Yeah, God told me most of his sales come from people in Egypt and Ethiopia, as a matter of fact. So whatever he's putting on his shoes must be communicated the right way.
What does it mean?
That is a great question.
Must be flying.
I believe it's on the website, but I should know when I forgot.
I think it means like, because I know La is like the, and I think Gosh is shit. So I think it means like the shit.
Oh, the shit.
Don't make that up. Don't listen to me.
Don't.
I'm about to say, either way, you are Nagash.
Totally made that up. They're like, oh, that makes sense. Like,
You was about to say about that shoe one.
That was
Oh,
Nagash.
no, you didn't say it like that. We didn't say it like that.
No, that was Nagash.
Yo, support black-owned business, man.
Yeah.
Good shit, man.
The
Appreciate
clothes
you on
and
that.
stuff, yeah.
Appreciate you on that, man. Appreciate everybody here. Speaking of supporting black-owned business, a little bit of housekeeping. This show is $10 a pop, but if you don't have it or whatever, it's cool. We're not gonna sweat it. We do have Cash App as well.
we might tap you outside, you know, that's all.
We might.
Jump
We
in.
might.
I feel like $5. I'm like, still, you big. They got you.
Bro, I ain't big. This is a big jersey.
Oh yeah, you got your if you have your Eventbrite, that's all good. Like it's all good.
Oh, people slide up in here. What the fuck?
No, man. We established community, and then we make the gentle ask once we establish community. Cash App is you can do AZIJASPER.
And pardon, brother, I hate to double dip, but I just had our first, I think this is the first, forgive me if it's not, but someone just commented on the live stream that's watching, and I'll let you see that comment before I tell you what it is, but anyone else that if you want people to see what you're doing here while you're here, please go on to YouTube, then you go on to Motown, one word, space O-M, and see it on there, and yeah, just had our first comment, so appreciate that.
That's beautiful.
Andrea Barber. I don't know if y'all know her. That's who.
Cash App is AZIJASPER.
Or you can do $sign AK-47, shoot him, drink his blood. No?
Right? You all right over there?
No. Need to ask him. Ask him what made him.
Yeah, what made you smile?
Man, shit. Hard. Nothing.
Damn, man.
But everything.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay. You know what? I hit this brother up Saturday night, and I was like, man, you got to come out here, man. It's looking promising. And I meant by that, I meant we were Elijah and I were out bird watching, and
What a term for it.
we were watching birds, and it looked promising. It
That's
looked
really
like
awesome. Birds are powerful.
birds are. Thank you, my sister.
They had awesome food.
Right. So.
Awesome what?
Don't ask.
Yeah, right. So when I hit this up or whatever, he was like, man, I'm having a terrible night, man. And then he explained everything that he explained earlier about how he hit the pothole and the back brakes and like a bunch of other other shit or whatever. And I was like, wait, do you need any help or whatever? Like I'm like, I got you. And he didn't respond. And then I hit like ... like 30 minutes later, and about 30 minutes after that, he said, nah, I'm good. And no, you did all the shit yourself. You fixed everything that was wrong.
As I always do.
Yeah, that made me smile, man. I love self-sufficiency in my people, and I admire when problems happen those that can clean the situation up without having to go and pay somebody or do a bunch of other things. So I admire self-sufficiency. And that made me smart.
That's what's up, man. The first step is to own. Is to like, you know, if you fuck something up, you know, just own that you fucked it up. That's always the first step.
It kind of pissed me off though that like you didn't like, you know, say, hey, you know what I'm saying, this happened or whatever. You couldn't, you know.
I was under a car.
I knew something was coming.
Trying to get my life together.
I got you. It's all
And you was out watching birds. I just figured, you know, using different rails. I didn't want to bring you down off your bird street.
That's real. That's real. They was flocking. Okay, anyway. So yeah. Really quickly, what made me smile, had a hilarious moment with this brother in Ferndale last weekend, which happened to be Pride weekend. I go with this brother in Ferndale. For some reason, we ended up in Ferndale. And for whatever reason, I feel the need to make this disclaimer. If you make a joke that involves people in the LGBTQ community, that's not homophobic. Everybody is included in this world of ours, and everybody, if we want true equality, everybody needs to be able to take a joke, right?
Ain't nobody safe.
Exactly. Everybody, right? So this is a story that includes like the LGBTQ population or whatever. But Elijah and I, we were leaving the club, and we were sitting here. We were talking about
Keep going. It was the Bosco.
The Bosco. Nice little spot, man. Nice little spot on a Saturday night. Cool clientele, thank you, brother. Cool clientele. You know, just nice drinks or whatever. Good vibe, indoor, outdoor sort of spot. Good music, whatever. So it, for whatever reason, was a little bit slow last Saturday because Ferndale was, you know, in the middle of the Pride weekend or whatever. So everybody was doing like a Pride sort of event, and that wasn't like one of those spaces. So Elijah and I stepped outside or whatever, and we were about to go downtown to, you know, a little cigar bar. And for whatever reason, we struck up a conversation outside of the car, which happened to be in front of the club. And the conversation was about men's health. We were discussing the effects that alcohol and marijuana have on the male libido. But we were not discussing it so eloquently as I just said. Essentially, we were saying, I was saying, how would you phrase it? How would you
He is
phrase
a
it?
little bit shy. I am not.
There you go.
Because I know we were talking about men's health, and I was describing the last couple of much younger than me young ladies that I've been involved with who were stunned at my sexual performance. Now, my ego is sturdy, but it's not about ego thing. Young bloods don't realize that sex is basically blood and semen, which is water, which is hydration. And they think, oh, I'm gonna drink this 40, I'm gonna drink this hen dog, now I'm gonna put it down. No, you have to hydrate. I stay hydrated, so I stay ready, prepared, powerful. And we were going back and forth discussing some of these things. Right? Those of you young men don't know, now you know. No, the hen dog, you think you're doing something because you're drunk. You ain't doing nothing, you need to be hydrated. That said, we were discussing how, well, you know, that your Johnson stays ready to go because you stay hydrated. And at this point, we both saw a an LGBT gentleman that had come into the club.
He said that.
He came into the club and he was looking to meet people, but it was mostly straight, so he left. But we did see him, and he was clearly skipping. Whatever. Bottom line, we're in front of the club now, and we're talking about, you know, penises and everything and what works. The two, we were having a men's health discussion, and this dude rolls up out of nowhere and says, "What are you guys talking about?" And we was like, what are you talking about here? You know, we couldn't even get mad. You know, because it was like, that was kind of, you know, the conversation that he wanted.
It was so hilarious because it was just such a regular conversation. It was just a regular conversation, but bro took it and ran with it.
He heard it, and you couldn't get mad.
He
heard us talking to two men talking about penis performance. He heard, and he was like, "Hey, can I be that?"
Please stop.
Really? And then he realized right away that that wasn't the party, and he kind of went off. And Azizi was like this for like 5 minutes, like, I can't believe it. I'm laughing, but he was fucking. Wow, it was comedy.
That was great. That was fun. That was hilarious.
He was cool. He left, you know, he
Yeah,
like, okay, all
for
right.
sure. But yeah, man, good times. So that made me smile this week. So a couple ground rules, y'all. We're about to get into this here open mic. Rule number 1 of the open mic, of the stage, of the microphone. Respect the mic, respect the mic, respect the mic, respect the mic, respect the mic. If somebody is up here doing the 1-2 thing, we have everybody from professionals that are super comfortable up here to the person that might be reading for the first time, right? Or reciting something from memory for the first time. So we want to make sure when art is happening up here that you respect the mic. Rule number 2. If it dings, rings, has the potential to disturb the show, put it on silent, put it on vibrate, put it outside, put it on airplane mode, whatever the case may be. Do not disturb the energy of the space. Rule number 3. If you hear something that you like, let the artist know. If you hear something that you don't like, you can also let the artist know. We want it to be an even exchange of energy, typically in spoken word sort of spaces, even though this is not just a spoken word space. Whatever your medium is, you can come up here and perform it. But typically in spoken word spaces, you can either like snap, right? Snap is like where we started, because the audience either has something to eat, something to maybe smoke, something to drink, something to write, and that only leaves one free hand. But it only sounds good if we do it together. So we get some snaps going. Let that be the bare minimum, right? If you hear something that you feel it, make sure you let the artist know. And the most important rule of the show is enjoy yourself, man. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Being present is a blessing. Being here is a gift. And being in a space where you can express yourself and have community and have it be a safe space, and you can, it's air conditioned now, the air's been coming on, man. Thank you, my brother, appreciate you. So yeah, this is a beautiful thing to be here, man. Shout out to the space. My brother Benjamin over here, he does have the Motown Open Mic YouTube page that everything is being recorded and streamed to. If by chance you do not want to be recorded, that's completely cool. Just let him know and it will be removed, or he will turn it off and all of that good stuff. But part of the purpose of art is documenting what's going on around us, and documenting the art, the documents what's going on around us is like really important. So I've never done that really. I've traveled, I've done a lot of things, and I never was good at documenting it. So I love it when someone comes and is willing to just like record and like suck up that energy and like put that energy somewhere, because you know it needs to be. Barry Gordy did that, and the rest is history. So all right, y'all, I'm gonna do a piece, and let's see. It shouldn't take 16 bars to raise one. Like the prison bars of caged men that disproportionately target the same men that the slave trade did. I love writing, but I hate rappers. It's so redundant, the rhetoric. I'm a throwback like the boom bappers on Cedar and Sedgwick. I wrote the rubric to bend the Rubiks. Then they blackmailed us. They stole our blueprint. They tried to blackball our black asses. But what's a black ball to a Q stick? A lot of nada, nothing. Free Mumia, I said stop front and give Asada and all my soldiers asylum up in this bitch. Legend, man, no myth. Prophetic hieroglyphics of Romans and retort a story. Papyrus and Mount Olympus, definitive allegory, insanity at its thickest. My skull is my story's cover. No wonder mine is the thickest. Combing through all the thicket, these bullshitters, these bitches, counter-revolutionaries that buried us in the trenches. Truth is stranger than fiction. Never no need for pausing. Dead poets and rappers are only skeletons in my closet. Sometimes I rhyme slow. Sometimes I rhyme quick. Sometimes I don't rhyme at all. And because you can't put me in a category, you call me a poet. And hey, I don't mind at all, because I write like what Richard Wright would write, but in hindsight, I'm giving sight to the blind, right? And then the beat breaks. I'm paving streetscapes with my soundscapes, with the fluidity of Great Lakes. Because you see, it was almost eerie being all the way up in Ontario and hearing them say that this poet from Michigan was superior. They call me arrogant and said that I was full of myself because my afro made the big wigs feel inferior. A hipster, hardly more of a mixture of Medgar, Garvey, Kwame, Mumia, Tupac, and Marley. Revolutionary, maybe more of a revolutionary's baby. I'm merely an apple from a tree, it don't fall far from me. Either I'm reading or I'm writing, the rest of it work reciting. I try to write twice every day like broke clocks. I'm writing to find a resolution and alleviate people's confusion. Because if I sparked a revolution right now, sadly, most of you would only watch. You see, our melanin's been diluted, our mindset's been convoluted. You might like my status, but you wouldn't throw a rock. Got the biggest stage in the city with more ears than ever. Misogyny and death and bullshit is all we can think of to talk. New slaves indeed. Circles I ride around the circumference of the earth until it resembles Saturn. I'm feeling like Black Moses, Miss Tubman with the musket. Anybody can get it. I dare be coward to grab it while you praying to somebody. I'm praying to God body. I pray to my ancestors while savages call it magic. Only speaking in relevance, the average person's intelligence is well below average, and that's tragic. I freed 1,000 slaves on this here Underground Railroad. I lost not one of them on the way. I freed 1,000 slaves, but I could have freed 1,000 more if they only knew that they were slaves. That's it. Word up. Let's up to the stage. We're gonna get it for James Mantle.
Wow.
My beard here is very, very irrelevant.
It is. That's not really a beard, that's more like some shit on your face.
Damn!
I love you, Elijah.
This is why I hate. This is why I hate.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. Hate the balls, like you sit in hate, it's gonna come back around at some point. Yeah. This is called States. It's strange I find revolutions in my travels. Being away seems to help me unravel and disconnect from the senseless babble and cackle that comes along with some relationships. I leave not to jump ship, but just to get shit together. See, my lady's very supportive of me being abortive for being confined in one state. Every time I leave, she believes that my dreams will come to fruition, and as do I. The last time I left, I needed a little massage and a little cash, so she said I owe her. Told me I could go to California in no more than a couple of days because there's too many hoes out there. Said while I'm on my travel, I should be able to keep it flowing, reading her emotions. Wanted me to make sure I always carry a ladder to me because she liked when I talked to her, it was creative in my expressions in our conversation. She's so demanding. But I was understanding. Because understanding means that regardless of your understanding, that understanding her understanding while you're standing under her love is being understanding. We had open communication. And she would tell me that while on the road, if I ran across a chick and I had the urge to spit to try to get a little lick, that she'd be cool with it as long as I just hit and quit and put a condom on it. So I did. I called her up one day to say, hey, oh, and by the way, I met a little filet, and I knew the rules and I would obey, and all she said was, okay. So I hung up the phone after the I love yous and I love you too, and the schnuckamoos, and this was just before 2. And damn, this chick was thick. Enough to make a milkshake sick, but by 6, I was getting my shit and getting on with it, figured that was it, but I couldn't resist. It felt so good, Indiana. She wasn't a virgin yet potato. Had her washing tons of underwear, and she was good the way she Rhode Island, and she definitely had game. I told my lady she wanted me to see how far this chick could go. So I put the Mac on and played the charmer. Told me she would have me looking for a new jersey to wear as if like my new love's armor. After a while I felt bold, so I cut. Or at least I thought I did. She wasn't easy to shake. She kept hitting my line, spitting Illinois I wasn't trying to hear. Like, nah, I'm not interested, went out the other ear. Now she's living in misery. Tells me it's my fault that she all stuck and such. Blame my touch in the way I can make her nut for her acting nuts. Man, this shit is nuts. So I called my lady, hoping maybe she would have a solution. My baby was a ride, and she put aside the anger inside her and told me how to ride. I said I should grab another chick when she sees that I'm truly over it, the point she'll get. I smiled and did just that. In fact, I bumped into an ex from far back. Went out the next night in my finest Will Smith act. We both fresh from head to toe. I saw her, and all she said was, oh, hi, oh, and turned to go. Went to check out and grabbed the coat. She was jealous that I traveled with Georgia. Blew my phone that night and left messages that always ended with, I don't know. But there's nowhere in Idaho. I told your ass no, and when she started to grow, so I called my bro. He a Jamaican, Montana, golden color with dreads to the flow. He on every 10 I see if I don't. I knew Alabama, so I told him low. He said it was a go. For sure, there you go. He can Colorado, and I can get back to getting my dough and stop trying to figure why you don't mean. But I figured that was the end. But then my lady got perturbed. Told me she had to tell me that this whole situation got her disturbed, and I had some nerve actually going through what she's considered as just words. This shit blew my mind state. When we was back in our home state, we discussed our travel states, and she stated that it didn't matter about hoes in other states as long as I knew the home state. So I said, wait. Baby, I know we can sis in the same understanding because we talked about the plan. I wasn't trying to risk kind and sin. I care for you because you're my main. I'm your Mr. Big Goat, but you're my Mississippi. And if you don't want me to give away none, you don't want to give away any. Then she said she went through my old phone to find all my texts to other chicks. Said she didn't like how I be watching tons of other women. And things were going south since I messed around with Dakota. And she saw me on Instagram with pictures of me at the Puerto Rico getting off the night cruise with Louisiana. Damn niggas always posting pics. Ain't that some shit? Then she got really mad and told me all her Kentucky easily I could be dealt with. I said, really? Really, baby? That's how we talking now? Even though every Sunday we go to mass and Chu sits right next to me, hold my hand while the choir sings and the organ playing, she hung up on me and sent me a text and said I need Arizona because I'm getting on her nerves. Well, I suppose I deserve for falling for the fastball and curve and not having the right words to explain absurd and proper pronouns and verbs to return her serve and outrageous words or even curve or disturb or try to murder her hurt. Now for yell like bird and cold like bird plus 2 R's in the side of dessert, heart ringing and alert, vision seen and blur, can't believe something happening all over her. I'm like a fool for letting the pot stir. I should have kept it like private. I should have kept it private like sir. They played in pot stir, stuck to my seat like Usher, just let it burn. See, I waited my turn. Except he wondered if my pencil was vain enough to write like things were okay. Maybe I could take her to Maryland and get her a New Yorkie and show that I'm Delaware of what I've done. But I'm not sure if that'll work. Because as I mentioned, these states change mind states, and every state that has a state in it that if misstated will leave your ass in that state. So as I stated in the above lines, a piece of line, the thin line between what is reality. So watch your mind state.
Is she here?
Huh? Yes, she's here.
I'm about to say, you heard, right?
That's deep.
Yeah, she's here right now.
That's deep.
Yeah, she's everywhere. She's fiction. She doesn't exist. It's a random ass poem. It's just we just fucking around.
Sure. That's deep though.
But at least the poem, like the man in the poem, the fictional character was open and honest about it. Most guys do it.
It
You
must
don't
have
even
been
know.
the situations you done been in.
Nah, it's just life.
Good
Good poetry was like.
It's deep though. It's
Thank
deep.
you. Yeah.
It's deep.
Most guys will tell you about it. They do it to you. You have no idea.
It's deep. That's
All right, so we're ready for mic list. You ready for mic list? Say hell yeah. The rest of y'all, we're gonna try some more time. If y'all ready for mic list, say hell yeah. Hell yeah. Up first, y'all give it up for Elijah.
okay.
Keep it going till you get up there, man. Evil voice answers and says, you're not home. If you think that I'm a fool, go for any line. Honey, put down all your money. You would have a time. Irresistible bitch. I love the way you walk. Irresistible bitch. I love the way you talk. Irresistible bitch. I really dig the way you kiss. Irresistible. Oh mama, I wish I could resist. Nobody?
And for a second, I didn't know what he's doing.
The man, the myth. You know, I just, it's his birthday, it's my hero. Irresistible bitch. One of the great B-sides in the history of B-sides. That ain't mine, that ain't mine. I'm gonna do some of my stuff. Okay. Shit, I left my glasses. All right. Are those like reading glasses?
Yeah.
Let me see.
I know that's right.
And you know, yes, old people. I'm an old person. My reading glasses are not this pretty. They're ugly.
Young, but you hydrated already.
You know what? You and I have the same situation. This is working out pretty good. To be or not to be? That is the question. How much of a man, how much of who I am is swinging between my legs? How much of what I am is suspended between my ears? How badly do I need more offspring to give me more meaning? How much does it hurt to cut the lines of youth? How much does it hurt to cut the actual lines? How much does it change how bad that you want to do her? How much does it affect how bad she wants to be done? How often am I really risking fatherhood? How many women would I risk it with who would risk it with me? How much more will I get? How much more will I get than I get now? Will my standards really lower? Or will the standard-bearing ladies feel better? How much less will I feel irresponsible couplings? How much more likely am I to catch something other than a child? How much does the sensation become less sensational or more? How often does it fail to function? How often do we want to undo it? How effective is the undo? How many men regret doing it? How many wish they had done it sooner? How many women almost never say anything about it but would if they were asked? How many kids do I want? How many kids can I afford? How many years before it's too late to father? How long does the pain last? How many kinds of pain are left to feel? How much life am I left to live? Those are the questions to be or not to be.
Wow.
I've been having this discussion with myself for a minute now. I haven't worked it out yet. Still there. Okay. Something targeting sexual or something black nationalist? Wait, what were you talking?
Two different
Targeting
extremes.
sexual or something, proud and black. Targeting sexual, brother. Was a bit of a poem about my segment. It seems like a couple of chips. Sorry. Did I hear a female opinion? Which was certainly outweighed.
That's my God.
Should I pass? Okay, we get you. Second one. What'd you say? Targeting sexual.
There we go. Cosign.
Okay. This is targeting sexual. This is written for a particular young lady who I wanted to, experience. That, I became her friend. She eventually introduced me to her boyfriend, which, disappointed me. I let her know I was disappointed. She let me, this is the sad part. The sad part. She let me know that she didn't think because I was all into like deep, poetry, black nationalism, higher fuck, that I was like interested in fucking, which, pissed me off. So I wrote this poem for her.
For her or about her?
For her. For her. It's called Question in Your Mind. There seems to be some question in your mind that if I want to fuck you. Because I love you. You think I see you as the image inviolate. Because I'll debate the sharper thoughts in your mind just to find what I can learn, though I burn for you in secret places, private spaces, your lovely face is obscured by that ass. Give me a pass, as my will can't last, trying to break my fast for taste around the waist of your body type. I don't want to sow confusion. As there seems to be some question in your mind, that the time I spend on the bench press is in prep for the step if I get blessed. So I'm building up my muscle, or if you need a naked hustle, that I can wear your body out in just one bout of fuck making, chance taking, back breaking, penetrating power from my shoulders and thighs. I won't please into your eyes long enough to be inside you. I know you want to suck my dick, just to match my lickety split upon your clit, and there is no quick in me epiphany proud when we fucking out loud. My civility knows its place, which may be in your face, but never in that pussy. That land of lips is fat, even with a hat. I'm determined in my sermon to the faith of your orgasm, my own spasms of no consequence. I will give my life to satisfy you materially, spiritually, and physically. Understand, I started out thinking about how good it would feel to come inside you. You won't be lied to by my respect. My concern is the purpose for the sperm. I will swim through your surface with no purpose but selfish lust. Woman, you better ask somebody. Tell somebody. Touch my body as the permission and admission to the id on earth, on time, on you. There is no question in my mind. I hope I put to rest some of yours. Thank you. You guys are very careful.
Did she ever hear it?
No, but she will. She comes to these things. She's into this one in like forever. But she's gonna. Okay, last one. I'll do something so that people respect this black nationalist intelligence I was speaking about. I'm not just a savage that's bitter about sex and bisexuality. You cute to be dark. He spoke. A newfound surge of madness or whiteness to this unheralded goddess of the chocolate night skies that cries out to be hell. You cute to be dark. As if the words he spoke weren't a joke before a cathedral to swell with a devout who have no doubt of the sacred truth in the shade of the maid before them. I know not what he meant, with words shaped from shit in the pit of a soulless shell that swelled with the arrogance of the fae, and I thought I saw what he saw, but I didn't. I thought I felt what he felt, but I couldn't. For I see the erotic narcotic that brings the flame to the game, and life and death come the breath of the instant sea. For I feel the seal of the wheel of time I find in my passion, after fashion, from reeling in the wake of her passing. She is the night black heuristic cat that purrs in a skin-tight shroud of simulating she's well as how she looks. And I am the cold heart bullet just to dare to lose its light, but just reflect to the skies how I feel and I think.
Damn, lady. Your body is covered in the black ink of a million poems God has written from the beginning of time to the point of your birth. Poems about the beauty of the world neither man nor beast can match in its least manifestation of aesthetic futility. Woman, your sheen and your curve crush the nerve of an army of learned men who sought to win your favor and savor the fruits of your funk. I burn for you.
The whole earth burns for you.
Let's keep it. Take that one last part.
Okay, I'm just gonna go back to the stands. I can see that. Let's see, you got in the mic, start talking deep, do all that. Okay.
Probably when it works.
And I think, damn lady, your body is covered in the black ink of a million poems God has written from the beginning of time to the point of your birth. Poems about the beauty of the world neither man nor beast could match in its least manifestation of aesthetic futility. Woman, your sheen and your curve crush the nerve of an army of learned men who sought to win your favor and savor the fruits of your funk. I burn for you.
The whole earth burns for you in an ash set fire by her love-soaked eyes, and she laughs. She laughs in the face of the ignorant and the indigent in light of the power of her black. The lady makes you frantic in their antics trying to reconcile the mad white girls claiming that she ain't all of that. All the while knowing that their secret dreams burst at the seams with the images of the nappy black queenality all men have worshipped as Aphrodite. So you have to give it up. You have to give it up in praise of the haze she brings to our senses, and not all the MTV, BET, Cosmopolitan, Clairol, Fox, Time Warner, Sony, ABC, NBC, or HBO hoes gonna change the fact that the baddest mother on Martin from week to week was Pam. Or that the aunt of Will and the mother of Carlton was right on the first time around. Do you feel it?
Yeah.
So when an ignorant motherfucker's gonna move in some iconoclastic Otello tragic bullshit for the great glory of Montel, OJ, Michael J, the like, while the one everyone wants winds up sitting on the shelf of the wealth of the spoils of white supremacy, it will never be on my watch. Because she's cute to be dark. She's cute to be dark, but she's wet to be water, cold to be ice. She's strong to be steel and hot to be spice. She's cute to be dark, skin of burnt bronze and hair of lamb's wool. If man was a jaguar, she'd be the panther. If this was the Middle East, she'd be the oil, and in your subconscious, she is the triple black. And with that, I praise her from dark top to darker bottom with only a smattering of pink flames in my heart. Girl, you know you look good. And as for me, caramel always tastes sweeter mixed with chocolate. Thank you for listening.
Y'all give it again for Elias, y'all. Make some noise. And you know motherfucker is going in when he's like, and then when he's good to be dark, and then she says, I want to take you home and make it on the west side with the titties out. That's how you know what's going in. That's how he knew that he's about to go the fuck in. That's what's up, man. Thank you, Sharon, man. That was dope, man. That's always a great, that's one of my favorite poems you do, man, for real. Like, yeah, it's super fire, for real. All right, we'll keep this rolling. Up next, y'all give it up for Zach Winchester.
Oh, damn.
Handle your shit.
Alright. So this is 100% the first time since the pandemic that I've had the opportunity to do poetry.
Welcome back, virgin.
So I really love this open mic. I'm fucking definitely gonna try to make it here as much as I can this summer. I wanted to give as much as I could, and I got I'm gonna do a Spirited Away from Hayao Miyazaki, fucking Joe Hisaishi.
Nobody knows what that is but me.
I know Spirit.
That's dope.
Sometimes I get stuff stuck in it. song, and this is my first time trying to make it, and as I say, aquapillow poem thing. So bear with me if I fuck that up. But there, there's
I like that term,
aquapillow. Yeah.
That's dope.
So yeah, and there's a little harmonic part that goes. So this is my attempt to define what I mean when I say love. Because love is a weird word, right? I love food. I love my mom. I fucking love you. You know, it's different in different contexts and stuff. So this was my actual attempt to explain to myself what I mean when I say love. And there's this little riff that goes with it. Love is an interesting subject and an instigative predicate. A bunch of stuff's been done here in the name of love and said of it, and I, for one, admittant of my ignorance, confess the sin of being unabashed and unrepentantly obsessed with it. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but since 100% chance of wholesale annihilation is a given, I suggest it's our sublunary prerogative to figure out not what love is, but what it does and how to best perform as loving operatives. Because the problems with being a human are feudally rooted in factory set. We may never escape from the ways that we are, and it's useless to try to be Zen, so instead of transcendence, I'll gamble my soul on the bet of that there's something tremendous called love in this world. If not yet, well, then we shall invent love. And the only way for me to prove that I'm genuine and not just someone who says stuff is to live out my life with the vibe of this poem interwoven into how I show up, because you know what? I'm a dead man. Life is beautiful and it will kill me. But in the beginning and middle and beginning and end, I know there will be love. And love does not make sense, does it now? Nah, love. Love does not make sense, does it? Fuck no, not love. Love does not make sense, does it now? No, love. Love does not make sense, still I'm trying to make sense of. Love is one flummoxing conundrum that us humans may have drummed up. Whether love doth sprung forth from us or is the source of all such whats is entirely irrelevant.
We are flailing in the dark with this. Ask not now what love is, but how it works, and might we harness it? The darkness in the black obsidian coffin in my heart's crypt is illuminated nightly neath the moonlit sky by just glints of this stuff. This love is some shit. Even I, a meddling fuckwit, knows that love don't make no sense, and that's precisely why I fucks with it. Is confoundingly confusing. I am puzzled and perplexed by it. We use this word love frequently, but really, what is meant by this I love you, or I love cats, or God is love, or what have you? I would love to just speak matters of facts, but I honestly can't, because truth is, love is an anomaly. And perhaps it should remain so. I am growingly aware it's more than a thought in my brain, though. Not every hour is such where it's easy to taste the rainbow. I thought I'd make this song through which some love might be conveyed, so love is a thing in reality that can be witnessed in various settings. It's there in our hospitals, around hospice beds. It's been spotted at several weddings. If you hang around transit hubs, you may glance the love when we're in what I think is our element. It's been said that we're creatures of conflict, but I have seen much contradictory evidence. And this isn't me saying that love is the answer and all that one need to do is let it in, because the love I'm describing is already in you, not even in death is it jettisoned. And I see no reason from this moment onward to be in the closet or reticent. I am bullish as fuck on this thing we call love, for the key to the kingdom of heaven is love. And love does not make sense, does it now? Nuh-uh, love. Love does not make sense still. I'm trying to make sense of love. Love does not make sense, does it now? Nuh-uh, love. Love does not make sense, stop trying to make sense of love. Thank you.
Appreciate that, man. Good shit. Give it up for one more again. That was That's dope, man. Love is
Okay,
Don't make sense.
yeah.
Exactly right.
love
Love
don't
is,
make sense always. Fuck no. That's the best thing he said. Was, fuck no. Like, yeah, hell yeah. That makes sense to me.
That was on point.
Yo. Barry White had the Love Unlimited Orchestra. This is the Love Limited Orchestra and shit. Like, we know our limitations in this motherfucker. That was funny, man. Y'all are hilarious. Everybody feeling good? Yeah.
Sir.
Can you sing? Can you sing? You good? All right, I got you. Man. That's my man's right there. All right, cool, man. We gonna keep it moving. Next up to the stage, give it up for Kara. Give it up for Kara. Y'all let her hear, let her hear, let her hear.
Oh.
Don't be trying to front. We've been doing this a long time.
So this is some new shit. I started writing this a couple weeks ago and been sitting with it. Wasn't sure I was going to share it, but I feel like it's been sitting on my brain, so here it is. It's called Human Conviction. You know what it's like to feel something fundamental and true deep in your heart. You know what it's like to spit that truth at blank faces because avoidance is privilege's middle name. You know what it's like to feel the pain of urgency and the burning veins of injustice, of pulling the rope until your fingers bleed while the bell rings on deaf ears. I'm sure you do, because you're a human on this earth, because you're an American human on this earth. It's like being stuck in a bad dream where you know who the bad guy is, but no one believes you, and you scream and scream, the serial killer is right there, but somehow your words sound like they're underwater and your limbs move thick and slow. I think this must be how religious people feel, or vegans. Feels like you know with conviction what other people need. If you just believed in Jesus, if you just eat plants instead, if you just valued life over money. But the game is rigged. How can the scales of justice tip when greed and power have nailed their end to the floor? In this game, do not pass go, do not collect $200 is saved for the ones the world is too afraid to see thrive, because that would mean that worth and value would strip themselves from George Washington's face and bleed onto the cheeks of elementary school students, the weathered hands of grocery store shoppers, the dancing bodies of nightclub goers, the bowed heads of church prayers and synagogue worshipers. If the cheating anchor under the scale was cut and Lady Justice was able to do her goddamn job, how many lives would be saved? How many minds would heal? How many people would feel they belonged? And how many parents would be able to send their children to school while also sleeping at night? The novelty of it all. Time moves with unbearable slowness when change is the mission, and with lightning speed when grief is the outcome. It begs the question, how did we get here and where are we going? And personally, will my short life be long enough to see the dial turn in favor of the millions of hands that reach for it instead of the select few whose bank accounts pay for it and who would rather ignore it? Right now, I think my hope is buried deep in the tunnels of me, saturated in my internal liquid, tucked between the layers of my organs, hibernating, licking its wounds, not feeling safe enough to rise to the surface to feel the sun again. It's not gone, but asking for time to heal. I'll give it all the time it needs, knowing it's seen war. Where does hope live in you? Does it live next to rage, or survival, or resignation? Check on it, your hope. Give it forgiveness, give it patience, give it care. It's working overtime these days.
Okay. Right up again for Carrie, y'all. Make some noise. All right. Okay. I thought that was you saying. You're not done yet? You okay. Get it, go then, shit. All right.
Let them know.
Here we go. Okay. All right. So we have a few more people left on the list. Real quick, I want to just say something that I'm always thinking about. Like, this shit is always, like, you know, the infinity of the universe is always in my fucking mind. I know I'm a nerd in more ways than 17, but like, man, we are so small, but so large at the same time, but so infinitely like small. Like, we're smaller than the speck of dust in the spectrum of what the fuck is here. Like,
So serious.
what the fuck? Like, if you think about it, we're on a huge ass rock that's actually small as shit. Like, you can literally fit like 1,700 Earths inside of the sun. I mean, and then that sun can fit into another sun like 4,000 times, and then that sun can fit into a larger star like 18,000 times. Like, I know we all think that we're just so like important, and we are all important individualistic. I'm not gonna tell you that you're not important, but you're not that important, because you're not the only motherfucker. There's no way that there's 6.5 million other solar systems, and there's no way that, I'm sorry, you're not the only one.
Not the only one.
No. And then even just to get from here to the end of the known universe, called the Great Clusters, at the speed of light, so it'll still take you like 30 billion years traveling at the speed of light to get to the end of this known universe, let alone there's other universes. All right, that's enough. That's it. I was just pondering shit like, I don't appreciate what the fuck I got. Fuck complain. What the fuck are you complaining about? If you really think about it, if you really think about the shit for real, what the fuck are you complaining about? You alive? You got your health, you got most of your mental health. You know what I mean? Like,
mental health.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Most of it. Somebody loves you. You ate today. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got clothes to wear. Like, you're not, like, I'm just saying. If you think about shit beyond just your own small little selfish ass, like, none of this shit fucking matters.
Why are you looking at me?
I looked at everybody, and y'all landed on you because you looked at me, and I was like, oh, you feel me? And then You fucked
That's
up.
selfish shit.
So, you know, like, forgive that person. You know what I mean? Like, forgive your ex. Forgive your mom. Call your brother.
Fuck that bitch.
You know what I'm saying? Like, none of this shit really fucking out. One day you're gonna be old as shit, God willing. You're gonna be old as fuck. You're gonna look back on your wife and be like, damn, I wasted a lot of time. Like, think about yourself now. Those are in your 30s, in your 40s. Think about you in your 20s, how much time you feel like you wasted. When you're in your 60s, you're gonna look at your 40-year-old self and be like, damn. And so forth and so on. So stop fucking wasting time. Stop holding grudges and stop being a fucking asshole. And show some love to the people that you should show love to. No questions asked. Up next, y'all give it up for Christian.
All right.
Hello.
Hello.
When I came here a month ago, I wrote a poem the day before about open mics. I like open mics. I'm gonna mute my phone. So here's my open mic poem about open mics. To start, let's give everyone here a hand, a pat on the back. Yeah.
Sit over there, man.
A pat on the back, a roaring encore, a hand job, or a hand up.
What?
Snaps, claps, or a thumbs up. Whatever your flavor of manual appreciation, we deserve it. We're brave as fuck. We've all got as many masks as we need. Face, flash, polite smiles, or COVID shields. Take a call, take a phone scroll away from human interaction and vulnerability. The world offers a million avenues for hiding, and here we are, decidedly not hiding, including the audience. Even if you never get on stage in your life, showing up is participating. Observing, seeing, listening, being here with us is a sacred gift. To see and be seen, ouch, and oh yes, and whew, and wow, damn, thank you. Open mics should be called open hearts. People getting on stage and opening their chests, tearing down their walls, blossoming, unwrapping, uncovered, naked, raw, and unfiltered, seeing that the label not for public consumption stamped on their soul was always a lie. Whatever you got, shame, anger, silliness, joy, unabashed optimism, cynical, wild abandon, we've all got it too. And we might not see it in us until we see it in you. So thank you. And thank me for having the courage to live a little by dying a little. Because who knows what I'm going to leave up here? What line won't hit that I'll have to quit? What piece of my identity won't fit when I leave the stage? Or what will I have gained? I once asked an incredible actress if her work perfecting how to play others had led her to better be able to play herself. And she smiled and said it was an interesting question, but I don't remember her answer. I think it was some version of no. After all, we aren't following a script, no emotional direction, no idea when we're getting it right. I'm still figuring out my character. All the world's a stage and we all miss rehearsal. Speaking of, I missed rehearsal for tonight's performance. How was it? Hopefully good enough to make the cut. You must be this emotionally deep to ride. By the way, that actress, the play she was in contained the line, how many accomplices are there in a suicide? I have to find an answer to every question, and to that one I say everyone and no one. Just because every question gets an answer doesn't mean every question only gets one answer. Every question gets 1,000 answers. What is an open mic? It feels like an opening in space-time, a nexus point, a pluripotent stem cell waiting to become a vital organ, or at least a reproductive organ. The point is, it's a very creative space. It leads in every direction. I've been to so many open mics, sometimes I'm the only poet amongst musicians doing covers. A cover, a new rapping on an old favorite. All songs and all poems are covers on a common human experience. Good evening, everyone. Here is my cover of Heartbreak and Loss. Don't stop me if you've heard it before. Can you all validate the utterly miraculous singularity of my common humanity? Uniquely universal. Can I get an amen? Amen. Can I get a you-man? Speaking of common humanity, I've seen everyone and their mother get on stage. A 6-year-old singing their first song, a 15-year-old magician, a widow, a doctor, a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker. Oh, and my own mom, too, of course. She has so many stories that shine so brightly, but she could only share them with family, those who she already knew. One night I cajoled her enough to get her up here, and when she finally spoke, she forgot the audience wasn't family, and she shined like the sun, and we all laughed like her son. I think an open mic is a time for us all to remember that we've always been family. Thank you. Okay, so I was gonna write a poem before I came here about anxiety, and then I kind of got anxious writing it and I stopped. But I thought I'll just fuck it, I'll just flow and see what happens. So I'm just gonna make it go along here. the first couple lines. Sometimes my chest feels like a roaring fire, a bonfire, a radiating space of love and hope and optimism. It's like the Garden of Eden sprung up inside me, growing through my chest, a safe place that I can rest. And sometimes my chest betrays me. It's like I've died, or at least my heart did, and my rest of my body's kind of waiting to decompose. It's like anxiety cracking my ribs, electric energy just waiting to destroy all my hopes and dreams.
Go.
It's like I'm waiting to wake up, like an alarm clock that never clicks, never stops clicking, always waiting for the next beat, the next alarm to wake me up. When am I gonna fucking show up in my life in a way that's not my own emotions getting in the way? I'm here to say that I'm gonna keep showing up, and my emotions will probably keep getting in the way. But that's okay, because tomorrow maybe that fire, maybe that little piece of hope will come through the ashes of the Eden of yesterday, and I'll find hope again. Tears of joy will rain down from my face and water the desolate field, and I will feel like I'll never feel fear again. I will never be sad again. I will be sad again. I will break down and die again. I might die later tonight, and tomorrow I'll be reborn, and I'll come back next week, and maybe I'll have written this poem a little bit more, and we'll see what goes on then. Nice to meet you.
Bars? Did you just freestyle? Give it up for him, man. That's what I'm talking about, man.
There we go. Appreciate that. That takes a lot, man. For like, I don't care if you're like the most seasoned like writer ever, to get up on stage in front of a bunch of people, or however many people are in this room, and go off the top of the dome. That's another like that's a muscle that that's a muscle, right? Like you literally. Like I freestyle with like my homies all the time, like in the car or wherever the hell, like whatever. And like you feel a portion of your brain working that just does not, you normally don't do. You know what I mean? That's incredible, man. So thank you, appreciate your contribution to the space, my brother. Good shit, man. Definitely. Fam, I don't want any more people to leave before. Can you come here real quick? If you would, I just want folks to see. I walk past and I compliment this brother on his outfit, cause the yellow is just crispy as hell, and the blue is just like popping. It's got like juice in the middle. And he humbly said, "Yeah, this is my line right here."
Oh, no
yeah, exactly. So can you
Okay.
Yeah. I'm on IG, Andre Correll, AndreCorrell. Yeah, I'm like low key with like my clientele. They usually come to me. Like the reason why I made the line was that I don't really like going out seeing other people in my fashion. So I'm like, okay, I used to buy Gucci this, but then you go to the club, everybody got on the same thing. So I went back the old school way of fashion where it was more exclusive. So if I'm paying $200-$300 for something, it's at a minimum. You're not gonna see everybody in it. So that's what basically my clothing line stands for.
I could tell because the cut and the zippers and the collar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like when you see something, like my clientele know, like when they see something, I probably do this outfit. It's probably like in 15. That's it. Once I'm done, I'm done. So I'll probably do it in another shade. So that's the type of clientele right now. I actually just done something for Snoop and his son. So
fire, bro.
Yeah.
I knew your name sounded familiar.
That's dope.
Yes.
I love it. Why the elephant?
So where is there?
I'm on IG. I'm still like haven't done like when COVID had happened, when I was in the midst of doing my photo shoots and things like that. COVID had happened, shut it down. So I didn't do my website yet, but I'm hands on. So all my clients I never miss the order. So I do men and women. So that's the.
So why the elephant?
Okay, the history behind the elephant come from me being a little kid. My grandma used to always take me to the store, and I was one of the kids that always begged. You know, a kid, you could take them to the store, they want everything. So my grandma used to be like, well, next time when you come back over, I'm going to, you know, take you and get, you know, what I said you was going to get. So as soon as I used to come to this, I'm like 3 and 4 years old. As soon as I went in the house, I used to grab her by her hand and pull her to the door. Like, let's go to the store.
Like a baby elephant.
Right, so that's so she used to be like, boy, you just like an elephant, you know?
But elephants are powerful, so you picked a powerful animal, so that's the only reason why I asked.
Yeah, so she used to say, you never forget anything, and my memory, you know, I remember things, you know, so I recognized the elephant, you know, I used to spend the night over there, watch Animal Planet with her on the Discovery Channel, and she used to, every time an elephant used to come up on the screen, she'd be like, look, she used to call me,
there you go.
Right, there you go, so it became familiar, so when I did my clothing line, I was trying to separate how can my logo be different from the Versace's, the Gucci, the Burberry. So when you see the elephant, it's also inside the elephant is my print, my signature print, which you see right here. So a lot of people just see the elephant, but then they don't know like my signature print to recognize my brand if I want to do it in a different design.
So dope, man.
Appreciate that, bro.
If we can find you on Instagram, man, I'm gonna be grabbing your information, 'cause that's absolutely amazing, man. Like, I love, there's nothing worse. Yeah, definitely. There's nothing worse than, like, you know, buying an outfit and going somewhere, whatever you think, like, you the man, you think you that, you know, that girl out here, and somebody else got on your same outfit. God forbid they got a better body than you. Like, oh, this muscular motherfucker coming in a goddamn purple, like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, so I need my own shit. At the very least, you might have did more pull-ups than me, brother. But you ain't gonna have this on, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't got this zipper?
You got this
That part.
You gotta draw a string.
Oh, man, I love it, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Next up to the mic, next up to the stage. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Next up to the mic, next up to the stage. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. No, that's a different, for something else. Put your hands together. Cool, brother, slow.
This is called Homeless Guy. Homeless Guy. I see the same homeless guy every Sunday morning at McDonald's. He gets a small coffee, 1 cream, no sugar. His coat is torn. His shoes are worn. His hair is all frazzly. He sits lonely in a corner booth looking like a person who is either concentrating intently or perhaps not thinking at all. I wonder if that booth is the closest thing to a couch he'll ever know. I'm thankful for my small slice of life. My problems seem tiny, if not non-existent. I have a roof, a toothbrush, toilet, family, a paycheck. He looks like his name might be Wolfgang, or maybe Henry. I wonder what those homeless eyes have seen. I wonder what it is, what is his destination, what happens next, what happened before. I never thought about cooking as a luxury. I look down at my shoes, my watch, my glasses, my car, my fancy britches, and I feel slightly disgusted. I feel like, why me and not him? I feel like giving him my things. I have more things inside of my house. that I have Henry or Wolfgang. At the counter, I order my coffee, my hotcakes, my hash browns, my jelly, my butter, all luxuries. I lean over and I ask the cashier, who's the homeless guy? I see him every Sunday. He orders a small coffee. He sits in the back in that booth. And she leans closer to me. And she says, that's the owner.
Great.
I wasn't even ready for that.
Great piece. Great fucking piece.
Nice.
I'm doing weird shit today. All right.
Great piece. Great piece.
Hey, Pete, thank you all for listening to this shit too. For real, you know what I mean? I spend a lot of time.
I see
writing
why
this
you
shit.
speak now.
But anyway, this is called Strange World. I'm doing strange shit today too. So anyway, guy goes to doctor. Doctor says, you only got 5 days to live. Guy goes out next day, jumps off building, kills himself. Afterwards, guy says, I always wanted to do that before I died. Strange world. Like 2 + 2 equals a few. And people are weird, like horizontal zebra stripes. At a presidential rally, the president points to a little boy, and what question do you have, young man? The little boy says, who does inflation inflate? Don't believe everything you hear, like, have you actually ever heard a weasel go pop? Strange world. I'm on a midnight train to Georgia in handcuffs, surrounded by state troopers. Let's put some reality on that. I was recently in Mississippi, and that is M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I, humpback, I. And I looked to my left, on the side of the road, and I saw 25 brothers, 4 Mexicans and 1 Asian guy wearing zebra-striped jail outfits with a ball and chain on one ankle. In shock, I rolled down my window, and the Asian guy said, chopping cotton, don't be slow. Okay, better finish off your road. Strange world. Guy goes to doctor. Doctor gives him a sheet saying he only has 5 days to live. Doctor walks out of room. Guy looks left, looks right, looks left, looks right, grabs a pen, and he forges a 1 in front of the 5. Now we have 15 days to live. Strange world. like 2 + 3 equals an E. Plus an L and an I equals a lie. Like that pastor that got busted selling little old ladies fake Jesus juice. Who does that in America? Who doesn't? The question arose, how is it that a politician isn't politically correct? Like, that's like a mechanic who isn't mechanically inclined, or a psychologist with some psychological issues. Strange, like that guy goes to doctor. Doctor kills him, drains all his blood. Guy didn't know it was Dr. Acula. Strange world.
Yeah, we just got it.
Are you ready?
We got to sound it out. Real quick. You are consistently, like, you consistently come with, like, the most creative pieces that don't sound like the last piece that you did.
That's the goal.
That's my goal too. So I recognize and I respect it so much. Great shit, bro. Like, that's amazing, man.
Appreciate it. Peace, y'all. All right, last one, y'all. Good luck on listening to this. This is called Morpheus. This is my joint too. Morpheus. Everybody familiar with
From
Morpheus,
Matrix?
right?
Sandman?
Morpheus. Dang Morpheus. You got it.
Red pill.
Morpheus slowly asked me Did I want the red pill or the blue? I grabbed them both and ate them.
That's what was like.
The line between stupidity and bravery is thinner than the line separating love and hate, which is thinner than the line separating East and West Berlin, which is thinner than the line separating apartheid from slavery. The ghost of Nelson Mandela will forever haunt the White House in the Oval Office like Vice President talking about Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Ghostbusters with AKs and tanks, nuclear bombs and Apache helicopters, weaponized drones and biological warfare tactics, television and cell phones. Morpheus asked me, which pill did I want to take? At that moment, I pulled out my badge. DEA, motherfucker! Mr. Pill Pusher, you coming with us? You too, Trinity, aka Lady Heroin. He's breaking bad. She's breaking worse. Breaking protocol, breaking glass, breaking the law, breaking men, breaking bones. Morpheus took the directions out of his pocket and read them aloud. Never, ever take the red and blue pill together. Turns a brain to mush. You'll start believing that Hollywood is real. You start mistaking reality TV for reality. In the spirit of true journalism, one must tackle the tough questions. So I pulled up my sleeves and I asked Morpheus, how do you keep those glasses on with no fucking side shit on me? Good look, y'all.
It's like, fuck all that extra shit. Look. What's wrong with your face?
That's a phenomenal question, man. That's a phenomenal question. I always wondered. Everybody wondered that.
I have those glasses.
He was not the dude from X-Men.
I bet you did.
You can get them so they actually have clips. And you actually set them so they grab the bridge of your nose.
I guarantee you, when you were writing that piece, you never in a million years thought that someone would logistically explain how the fuck the glasses actually work. I love it. Man, Slow, give it up for Slow one more again, man. Yo, man, yeah, that's amazing. Next up to the stage, next up to the mic, give it up for Ocean. Give it up for Ocean. Hey.
Alright, so I wasn't nervous. It's my first time I've ever done this before.
Oh, wow. Fresh meat.
I'm gonna sit down because I always felt like that was how I envisioned my first time. I wrote this when I was about 17. Yeah. I wrote this when I was 17. My grandmother passed away, and my grandmother was never religious. Her and my granddad were married for about 40 years though before they separated, and my granddad is a pastor. Never understood it. I asked my granddad, he's like, it just always worked out. So after she passed away, I wrote this. It was one of the first things that I wanted to share with anybody. I shared it with like a few people, and I always said it would probably be the first thing I do at open mic night. So.
Wow.
Religion. Sometimes I feel religion is just a cause for division. The news can tell you about misled Muslims, but not backwards-ass Christians. They tell you about Jews and they starve David, and if you rank over 6 figures, then you make worship Satan. Debating. What rumors should we pitch next, or what's the celebs next? What about Jay and Kanye? I heard they made a $250,000 without stress. I go to church and I hear that I need to teach, but who am I supposed to teach when all of my generation is worried about the latest beats? The hooks on tracks, the latest audio, legitimized crack, saying that you're back but you can't see it, too busy worried about others to believe it.
you see, good and evil will always reach your side. Try to read the Bible and decode all the secrets, but it seems like every time I talk to God, I just seem to leave him speechless.
Good shit, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
That's dope, man. That's
I just know it's for Ocean's first time on any mic anywhere. Let's do it for Ocean, man. Is there a reason why they call you Ocean? Is there a reason why you call it Ocean?
He's quiet and deep.
There you go.
But powerful.
You'll never be able, in any lifetime of any man, you'll never be able to discover all the secrets of the ocean.
Facts.
I have already though.
No, you haven't.
I have all of them.
That's incorrect.
Yeah, all of them.
Well, you must be God in the flesh.
Thank you.
That's what's up.
I'm glad you recognize.
Hey, God. Hey, you
All
Look,
You
that's
blessed.
yes.
All right, thanks for sharing, man. That's incredible, man. Thank you so much for sharing, for real. All right, okay. You ready, brother? Motown, brother, you ready? Okay. Y'all give it up for Motown. Motown, open mic. The brother
Alright. This is a song with 16 bars, but I'm not going to put the instrumental on. Instead, I'm going to rely on you guys for a little help. Is that okay?
Alright.
Alright. When I point you off, could you please say Bodega 3 times? Like,
Bodega.
no, not just bodega.
You gotta give us one already.
Bodega. You got it? Okay. One more time. Bodega. Say it so many times because there's so many stores. Bodega. Gas station, grocery store, tell me what's yours. Bodega. We spend with them all the time, but they don't come through our doors. Bodega. Time to grind with your own and get it from the source. Bodega. Thank you. I was saying, point to y'all. Alright, this is the time. This is the part where the verse starts. It's all right though. You have my back. I appreciate that. Alright.
He hypnotized us.
From the East Coast?
Nah, I'm from my mother. So I was born in Denver, Colorado, lived in Alaska, lived in Apple Park, Illinois, Atlanta, Decatur.
Y'all both spent mad time in DC though, both of y'all.
Yeah.
You just never hear bodega out here.
Bodega.
Yeah. Alright,
Coney.
This is the 16 bars part. Just skip to that. Alright. Now I forgot that. I got you. That's how you feel? Alright. Trying to get sick, or should I say go viral? Don't watch NFL, but I seen things spiral out of control. And me, I'm feeling liable to get it back in order, or I might go psycho. We moving backwards like Michael, spending energy with the enemy. No, that's not reliable. We feeling tribal when spending with our own vegetables outside and weed in our home. We need nobody, we can do it on our own. Many things I spoke on, but few things are shown. Don't have to roam, be the answer to the question. Quote a 120 lesson, but what you manifest in. A true blessing is invested in your own kind. Take back your thoughts, cause your mind is a gold mine. Don't need it around your neck and wrist to let your gold shine. Lessons from ancestors we invest in our own time.
Bodega.
Say it so many times cause there's so many stores.
Bodega.
Gas station, corner store, tell me what's yours. Spend with them all day, but they don't come through our doors. Gotta grind with your own and get it from the source.
I didn't point. I didn't only when you point.
He was in that shit.
I'm gonna use the instrumental next time. It's okay. It's alright. I appreciate you anyway. That's all they got.
That's crazy because people aren't really robots now. In that technology shit.
But I appreciate y'all time. Appreciate you coming out. And once again, please check out YouTube, Motown, Space OM. Because not only does it have us on there doing our thing, it also has examples of what the song was intended to message to reach. People in the community doing their own thing. Big shout out to my big sis who just had an event at her garden space. She owns the land, about 3 lots, and she's growing food on the land. And not only that, she had vendors out, people doing yoga, martial arts, all type of activities. And hopefully we can even have an event like this at that space one day and keep it moving on that. Appreciate y'all. Peace.
Boo!
Bodega. Our bodegas on a gas station and a liquor store. That's crazy.
Exactly.
That's crazy. That's our bodega. Cause like bodegas have like food too, though, like real food.
Yeah.
So like if you mix a Coney and a gas station,
I mean, they got like,
they do have food at the gas station sometimes.
They
They got everything
well,
at the gas
there's a
station.
bodega on every corner though in New York.
But there's a bodega on every corner in New York. But there's a liquor store in every corner.
And the church.
And the church.
And a gas station.
And a gas station.
Not a gas station like that, for real.
This guy, this poet, his name was Mike Wright. He had a poem called Gas Station Liquor Store Church.
Yeah.
Because they all on every fucking corner.
Yeah.
There's a poet by the name of Lupe Fiasco who had an album called Food and Liquor.
And there was an ass opener, man. I had one.
Next up to the microphone, next up to the stage. Y'all put your hands together, give it up for Darren. Give it up for Darren, y'all.
Alright, this is like the only nice poem that I've actually had.
Nice shit.
Nice shit. Yeah. This one's called I Almost Forgot a Meeting. Also, I'm not this fucking nice, so yeah, just gonna let y'all know.
I can testify he isn't. I heard you an angel.
Nice as fuck.
Please don't lock yourself away to some cave. You've already been gone for too many days. Please listen to me when I have to say, come out the dark, you gotta know you're way more than spark. And I see the shade they throw your way starting to cause you pain, to the point that the light in your eyes is getting a little drained. And when you're alone, your tears start to fall like rain. But even through the pain, you still shine with grace. And that's a fact that they can't evade. There's something about you they can't ever take away. Why don't you look into the mirror and tell me what you see? Can't you see you're divine and more than the queen? Can't you see the reason why in you I believe? So please don't let their replies and lies have you deceived. Did you forget all the feats that you can somehow repeat? Did you forget that your spirits rises far above the peaks? Did you forget that you are so much more than weak? Did the cruelty make you forget the beauty that you truly be? Because once you know these things, they can never take your peace. So why don't you step outside into your light and let the world marvel at your sight? You have to know that you're a star and shine so bright. Even those from afar can see you like the sky. So why let them cloud your mind? They can look upon us as you move on by. So rejoice in who you are, because again, you're a star. And I know holding things together can be so very hard, but I want you to know nobody else can play your part. Nobody else has your heart. It's been that way from the start. So why don't you come out from the dark once again, show them who the fuck you are.
Hey.
This one's called Supervillain. Oh, sorry. Did I turn your comfortability into disbelief? I bet this napalm makes it really hard to breathe. If I were to tell you the truth, never in my life have I felt so relieved. There was so much I had to conceal within me, and I'm just like a sword that's being unsheathed. And I can reach my enemies and make the fuckers bleed. Now I've already came as far as saying you might disagree. I might as well satisfy my greed. Because I've been down for too long, nameless in the sea of the suffering of the throngs. And you don't know what I saw as I sailed along. And you don't know in order to stay afloat, I had to do some wrong. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. It's the survival of the strong. But what about you? You were so at peace, yet so fucking weak. And I was supposed to bow my head and just be so fucking meek. But something happened y'all never thought to think. That fox would come in to the pen with the sheep. No longer hungry, now it's flesh I tear and the blood that I drink. Doesn't that make you want to leap, weep, or count the days that makes you lose a little sleep? Too afraid at night to even peep, because you never know just when and where I creep. And well, here I appear, amongst you and your peers. I'm dangerous, we know that's clear. Your eyes peer at me with fear. I suffer so long in silence.
But these explosions, you not here. I hope you stay in the clear. If not, I hope you could hold on to what is dear. Because for too long you acted aloof, wouldn't react to the truth, even with proof. You had a chance to act like you knew, but that chance you done blew. You ignored underground and what we were going through. So I'm gonna make you shout my name from on top of the roofs.
Okay.
And this was basically about Batman, since you know.
Batman.
It's called Dance with the Devil Kevin. Like, I guess you're right. I might be a joke. I can't really do why I still keep hope, even though it seems like I'm going off for growth. But I guess it's because I do know I ain't broken dope. And I already know where the stolen piece of my heart go. So you won't see me frozen, the world gets cold. I follow life's path just to show me where I should be at. You think that makes me very mad? I'll tell you the truth. My belfry definitely has a few bats. Where is the skin off your back is a question every night I have to go and ask. But there's some things I move past in which I can't sit back and I can't just laugh. So now I'm dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight. And in the nick of time, I'm dodging at the edge of his knife. I see cruelty in disguise. I face a smile with the life. And do you think I'm scared? Hell yeah, fucking right. But sometimes you have to face your fears with the bravery of a night. If I think of something true, I ain't new to the night. I'll be alright. I'll survive this fight. I'll still be here. I'll still be standing. Drop it from the tower and I'll stick my landing. Even if I fall below into the forces commanding, won't be the first time to survive something so damning. In fact, the fact that I'm alive is quite outstanding. And I'll always be above while applying and planning and keep coming back till you can't fucking stand.
Hey. You did that.
You did that. I like y'all style, man. Y'all giving us energy. I fuck with it.
I do too.
Yeah, I like y'all energy.
Amazing.
Real. Yeah.
Does anybody else remember those two puppets, Waldorf and the other one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the white guy with the white eyebrows and the white eyebrows. Yeah. I remember them. Yeah, I remember them. Yeah. They don't mind me them at all though, but I see the analogy.
I left you alone all night.
So now you want to start some shit. And you was like, we want to talk some shit.
Because I remember you from look, that's Sam from
I'm gonna go ahead and comics all this stuff. I don't want no shit getting started. Whatever that was, he like, get this. Start it up.
Start it up. Go ahead, start it up.
Yeah. She got premium gas in that motherfucker too, boy. She like, wait a minute.
She booed him up on Vega. Start it up.
Alright, this next artist, man, he's actually a comedian. I believe he said that one day you are going to see him on a big ass stage. The Fox, motherfucking HBO special, the Netflix special, actually paying him like $3 million or more to do that bitch. You know what I'm saying? He always brings his fans, his crowd, his supporter, his squad, his team. You know what I'm saying? With no further ado, y'all give it up for Jerry.
Open it up for Monique.
Wow, everyone opens up with a bunch of elegant poems, and I'm about to use the most degrading form of stand-up comedy known to man.
Perfect.
Let's start with one of those, huh? But first off, let me just welcome, I want to start on a high note. Happy Pride Month. I love this month. Let's show some love for Pride Month. Come on, I love Pride. I am openly by myself. I love the love. I love the support. And truthfully, my favorite part of this month is when my straight counterparts, they'll come up to me and they'll show how pro-gay or bi that they are. And they'll be like, I love that you're bi, Jared. The fact that you can be attracted to men and women, you probably have a higher chance of finding your soulmate, I bet. It's like, I have a higher chance of encountering assholes, I know that. Honestly, I don't know what these people think. The prefix bi and bisexual means I'm gonna be by myself. Anyway, I'd like to get on to some more recent headlines. So you'll probably see that I do a lot of dark topics, but we have to talk about them. You probably heard that in recent days that there was that tragic school shooting that happened in Uvalde, Texas. And of course, these gun enthusiasts or gun nuts, they're completely hypocritical in my opinion. They'll be like, oh, the convention down in Texas, it's been 3 days. They They probably have their shit together. But in the past, when this shit happens, they're always like, now's not the time to talk about gun legislation. We need time to heal and move forward. But no, 3 days for 19 dead kids and 2 teachers, no, they're fine. But anyway, going to this convention, this NRA convention, I'm going to be honest, I might be living under a rock. I'm going to use my young age as an excuse. But there's this main spokesperson that they have, and his name is Wayne LaPierre. You probably heard this name, and again, I'm being humble, I've never really heard of this guy. But when I was listening to the news and I heard this guy's name, I honestly thought, do they have like, I don't know, Gays for Guns coalition? Just for, really? Oh boy. Lord help us. So when I heard this name, Wayne LaPierre, honestly I thought this was some guy who was going to be like, hi, I'm Wayne, I'm a gun person. Bang, bang. Caught this and I'll shut a load for you. Discharge a load, that was bad. But anyway, it was just based off this name where I thought, oh my god, like Gays for Guns Coalition, I'm so disappointed in my, anyway. So that's just one thing that got me going, and I was like, it's just a problem I had against these gun nuts, okay? They're saying, oh, I'm a gun enthusiast, or I'm a Second Amendment enthusiast. Oh yeah, well I'm a blowjob enthusiast, okay? You wanna see me shoot? Alright, so now that I got y'all warmed up, I wanna get into my main gripe for tonight. Now folks, here is a problem that I've been having. The 10 Commandments. Here's my problem. Why are there 10?
That's a good question.
You don't need 10. I think that the list was artificially and deliberately inflated to get it up to 10. It's a padded list. Here's what they did. About 5,000 years ago, a bunch of political and religious hustlers got together to see how they could control people, how to keep them in line. They knew that people were basically stupid and that they would believe anything that they would tell them. So they had announced that God had given them some commandments. Up on a mountain when no one else was around. They had announced that God had given them the 10 Commandments. But let me ask you this. When they were sitting around making this shit up, why 10? Why not 9 or 11? I'll tell you why. Because 10 sounds official. 10 sounds important. They knew that if it was 11, people wouldn't take it seriously. They'd be like, what, are you kidding me? The 11 Commandments? Get the fuck out of here. But 10 sounds important. 10 is the basis for the decimal system. It's a decade. It's a psychologically satisfying number. The top 10 most wanted, the top 10 best dressed, the top 10 plays in sports. So really, having 10 commandments was a marketing decision. And to me, it's clearly a bullshit list. It's a political document artificially inflated to sell better. I'm going to show you how you can reduce the number of commandments and make a list that's more workable and logical. Now we're going to start with the first 3, and I'll be going with the Roman Catholic version in case you want to keep tabs. I am the Lord thy God, thou shalt not have strange gods before me. Thou shalt not take the name thy Lord thy God in vain, and thou shalt keep holy the Sabbath. Right off the bat, the first 3, pure bullshit. Lord's name, strange gods, Sabbath day, spooky language. Designed to scare and control primitive people. In no way, shape, or form does superstitious nonsense like this belong to the 21st century lives of civilized humans. You throw out the first 3, you're down to 7. Next, honor thy father and mother. Obedience, respect for authority. Just another name for controlling people. The truth is, obedience and respect should not be automatic. It should be earned. It should be based on the parent's performance. Some parents deserve respect, most of them don't, period. You're down to 6. Now in the interest of logic, something religion is very uncomfortable with, we're going to jump around the list a little bit. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness. Stealing and lying. Well actually, these both kind of prohibit the same sort of behavior. Dishonesty. So instead, you don't need 2 of them. Instead, you combine the 2 and you call the whole thing, thou shalt not be dishonest. And suddenly, you're down to 5. Now, as long as we're combining, I have 2 others that go together. Thou shalt not commit adultery, and thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. The only difference is that coveting takes place in the mind. And I don't think you should outlaw fantasizing about some person's wife. Otherwise, what's a guy supposed to think about when he's waxing his carrot? Ugh. But again, these two commandments, they both prohibit the same kind of behavior. In this case, marital infidelity. Now, I think that marital fidelity is a good idea, so we'll keep the idea and we'll call the whole thing, thou shalt always be faithful. And suddenly, you're down to 4. But if you think about it, honesty and fidelity are really all part of the same overall value. So in truth, you could combine the 2 fidelity commandments with the 2 honesty commandments and give the whole thing simpler language, positive language instead of negative, and call it, thou shalt always be honest and faithful. And suddenly, you're down to 3. Now here's the next one, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. This one is just plain fucking stupid. Coveting your neighbor's goods is what keeps the economy going. Alright? Your neighbor gets a vibrator that plays "Oh Come All Ye Faithful." You want to get one too! Coveting creates jobs, leave it alone. You're down to 2 now, the big honesty and fidelity commandment, and the one we haven't talked about yet. Thou shalt not kill. Murder, the 5th commandment. But when you think about it, religion has never had a big problem with murder. Not really. More people have been killed in the name of God than for any other reason. All you have to do is look at Northern Ireland, the Inquisition, Middle East, the World Trade Center, and just see how seriously the religious people take "thou shalt not kill." The more devout they are, they see murder as negotiable. It depends on who's doing the killing and who's getting killed. So with all this in mind, I leave you with my revised edition of the 2 commandments. Thou shalt always be honest and faithful to the provider of thy blowjob. And thou shalt try real hard not to kill anyone, unless of course they pray to a different invisible man from the one you pray to. 2 is all you need. Moses could have carried him down in his fucking pocket. And if they had a list like that on the courthouse walls in Alabama, I wouldn't have minded that list being there. As long as they could include one additional commandment, thou shalt keep thy religion to thyself.
Appreciate you, man. I was trying to like gradually tell you like 30 seconds, man, but no, good shit, man. I appreciate you. You do what comedians always do, and it's always like but like comedians, a poet's 5 minutes, a comedian's 5 minutes, like comedian's 5 minutes, like 10 minutes. But you're on the right track, man, because that's what all comedians do. I appreciate you, man. Good shit, man. That was funny. Give it up for one more game, y'all. Let me hear. That's what's up, man. Shout out to George Carlin as well. Next up to the stage, next up to the microphone, give it up for Infinity. Give it up for Infinity. She is also your bartender, man. So if you have not tipped, you still have an opportunity to tip.
I'm still here. Okay. 10% is not enough. Fuck no. I was playing a game I wasn't prepared. Infinity, bartender, I work here beneath us. If you have a drink, I either made it or I was next to the person who made it, or I was on a smoke break, or I could have been getting some beer. But either way, at some point, I was behind that bar. Oh, happy Pride Month. I was. Let's see. Look at my nails. Those are pretty. Alright, so I went to this poem for Pride Month. I just rediscovered it the other day. I wrote it a year ago, but it came up recently and it's fitting for the month. My heart gets broken by beautiful women, both lesbian and straight girls with bi-curious tendencies, and every label and none in between. Every time they tell me My poly is too promiscuous. Sharing me ain't caring for me. They can deal with my man but can't see me seeing other women, or my acceptance of him is unacceptable. They let me know from the beginning that they are not sure if they can do it, but when they look into my eyes, it makes them want to try. Makes them give second thought to giving effort, to giving second chances to themselves for a love they never felt but are so afraid will go awry. Based off past experiences, they always do. But in eye-locked moments or lip-locked romance, they feel that my love is true, so they try. For as long as it takes them to feel their next pang of jealousy, as long as it takes them to think again, right up to the moment they see me, hear me, think that I might be interacting with someone else, they try to persuade me otherwise. To show me that monogamy is the way, to prove that through them all things are possible if only I let the others go. They try to say I told them lies, to convince us all that they are my victim, to get me to leave him for them. But that ain't what this is, nor what it ever will be. And even though I know it's all bullshit, I still end up feeling guilty. I feel like I've let them down despite all attempts to lift them up, to show the real me and the true meaning of love. I try to rise above all expectations, but keep finding myself falling short, falling back into hurt, into a pain specifically reserved for me. When they leave, my cup becomes half empty, and I try to fill back up on new love. Find the one that seems to be sent above. She'll tell me she isn't sure if she can do it, but she'll try. And I'll try to hold my tears the next time my heart breaks when she says goodbye.
Wow, y'all give it here for a minute, y'all. Make some noise.
It's your goodbyes and see you later.
Okay. All right, y'all, ladies and gentlemen. We have reached the conclusion of our evening. We try to end as promptly at 10 o'clock as we can.
Right on time.
Let's go.
Yes, it's 10 o'clock, 10:02.
It's 10 on the dot, though.
Oh, blah.
You got it.
That's how we come. That's how we get it. That's how we get it. Right after this, there is a porn shooting right outside. Make a left. Yeah. It's live porn in action. Go out here, make a left. Go down the stairs and then out that door. And like I'm telling you, they're getting it in right now. Oh shit! I'm about to spend some money here. No, seriously though, thank y'all for coming out, man. Every Tuesday we do this from 7 to 10 p.m. So tell a friend, bring a friend every Tuesday. There's a lot of other dope spots around the city too. For those who don't know, there's a Monday spot, a Tuesday spot, a Wednesday spot, a Thursday spot, a Friday spot. No, Saturday, Sunday.
Nah, Sunday.
Yeah,
Sunday through Thursday.
No, Friday is G Smooth for Hot House Fridays, and then Saturday is 90s reggae nights, so not really, but
Neither of those open mic.
they're not at all.
Monday is what's her name? Elise Kings.
Okay.
Tuesday is these two idiots at the.
Elise Kings.
Damn.
Tuesday is here.
Go.
That was a slow drip, huh?
It's still on y'all. Don't get it.
I got this for the crowd now. Let me get the crowd on here.
Thursday is 90, and you know how you look at it, the same reason, but it's more singing than anything else. Friday is where I'm fucked up. I don't know what Friday.
I don't either. I know it's something on Friday. I just wonder what it is though.
There's nothing on Friday. There's nothing on Friday or Saturday.
Saturday
it tends to be reserved for like larger acts though, like from the standpoint of like poetry and all that. Like it tends to be.
For those of you who do not know,
when Brian McKnight comes into town,
what they've already shared, I'm just gonna repeat. In the Loop Poetic Haven on Facebook is Cesar Toriano's page. He updates all the shit
every day.
Yes,
all
sir.
the time, and
Like
anybody
every day.
can post. So you know he's
Cesar
like
the
the mayor
man.
of
That's
Detroit
the man.
poetry. That's where you go.
Oh, I have a big show coming up on June 25th. It's Poetic Foreplay. I do this show twice a year. So if y'all like, I'm almost done, bro. Hold on a second.
reason why. Hey, go ahead.
Y'all damn. What y'all show you got coming up?
No, okay, cool.
All right, then, shut the fuck up. So June 25th, Poetic Foreplay. If y'all don't follow me on social media, my name is Dismantle, D-I-Z-M-A-N-T-L-E. And make sure y'all motherfucking go check me out. Follow me on social media.
Can I just real quick, ma'am?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna cut you off. Go ahead. And then, like I was saying,
all I'm saying is, I just wanted people to come to your show, so I wanted them to know that I was going to be there performing.
You're not performing though.
I am performing.
No, we made a change to the shit. They didn't tell you.
They didn't tell me?
No, it kicks you off the motherfucker.
They kicked me off the show?
Yeah, we put you on the after party.
So
though.
they didn't want you like real erotica and shit.
Oh, real erotica? Okay. You said erotica?
No, you talking about
Give me a power. Let me give you a power. Light skin power. Fuck y'all. I'm brown. Look at me.
I don't even identify as light skinned and shit, man. Speaking of pride, goddamn it, I'm dark skinned. Anyway, look. I don't fuck
What?
We go ahead and look. I identify as, yo man, I love y'all. Thank you so much for coming to our show. It's always fucking magical. Y'all are amazing. We get it like this each and every Tuesday. Half of y'all didn't pay. If you have it in your heart.
I paid.
Now get your motherfucking hand on my hand. You ain't gotta hold the mic together, motherfucker. No, my hand ain't here the whole time.
Why you leave your hand there if you knew my hand was there?
Fuck you. How about that?
All right.
Niggas that have y'all.
What up, Rap Talk?
Why you looking at the door?
Thank y'all for coming out. God bless y'all. And good to fuck night.